What's up, you guys? So, this is your girl Nunya. This is my very first live stream. So, I'm really excited about that. Yes, I am. I'm very excited. So, today I really want to kind of come to you all just kind of piggybacking off of the previous um video that I had put out in regards to IVF babies not being real. Uh, Kind of going a little bit more into depth about clones and hybrids today. I wanted to kind of put light on some things that I've been noticing that I know for sure is going to be ramping up in 2026 and beyond. Jesus said, just like in the days of Noah, so shall it be when he is about to get ready to turn back. And you all, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. This is for fair use, fair use. It's for entertainment purposes only. Okay? Fair use. Um, and after all of that, I just really want to kind of talk about just kind of piggybacking, like I said, from my previous video, how this is going to be ramping up in 2026 going above and going forward. But please know that these people have been dibbing and dabbing in in splicing genes, gene editing for 4 years. Okay, so this is not a new practice. They are going to present it to you as a new practice, of course, because we think that is always some new technology, some breakthrough science that they're doing, and there's not a damn thing new that they have done or ever will do, because there's nothing new under the sun, like the Bible says. And the Bible has not been wrong thus far, and actually we're starting to see it become alive more, quite more often, with what's been going on in this world. And I really want to take some time to point this stuff out, because I'm just seeing way too many people already excited about this so-called breakthrough science, this so-called new technology that they're presenting to the masses. And what I'm seeing and what I'm noticing is that, and what I know for sure, just like during COVID, people are going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe, because when it has to do with people's emotions, their health, anything that pulls on a person's livelihood or their emotions, people are like a deer in the headlights, literally getting ran over, because they are too focused on their provisions, on saving their life, that they lose their life. Like we've been taught biblically before, if you are a Bible believer, and then they end up all toe up. Okay. And so today I'm here to shed light. And although this may be a very sensitive subject for you people that have went out here and went to the fertility clinics against God's notion, against his will, because never ever, and I'm gonna hurt some feelings right now, never ever has it been in God's will for you to take your ass to a fertility clinic. I don't care what demon spirit told you. God said that. God did not say that shit. I'm telling you here in the flesh, God did not tell you to take your ass to a fertility clinic. He never will tell you some shit like that. Why would a God, all powerful, all knowing, all capable, send you to a fertility clinic? Sit on it, don't answer it. Okay? Because some of you all need to sit in deep thought before you say anything. Okay? So sit on that and then you come back later. But God is not sending y'all to no fertility clinic. God is not telling y'all, oh, I'm tired of dealing with men, so I'm just gonna go and have my own baby, so I don't have to deal with a man. God is not telling you to do that shit. He's not. And it's very frustrating and it's heartbreaking, because you all have no idea what you're doing. You have no clue. And a lot of you all are walking around here unrepented, doing some shit that you think is justified in your own desire, and God and no other spirit but a demonic spirit from the pits of hell has sent you to a fertility clinic. Do you all understand what happened in the Garden of Eden? If you all understand truly what happened in the Garden of Eden, you will not be taking your ass to anybody's fertility clinic, to anybody's voodoo priest for fertility assistance. And this is what's happening. And not only do you have single women doing it, you have married couples participating in this travesty. And so it is my job. Oh, I'm making it my job to educate you all and let you all know, to be the bearer of bad news, that what you're doing is going to put your ass in some hot gasoline fire. So it's best that you hear it from me so you have some time to think about your actions. Hopefully return back to your savior before he gets the hell back here, because you all are replicating the exact same thing that was done in the garden. Do you know the reason why they were kicked out of that garden is because our foremother was having sex with Satan in the garden, which as a result, you had Cain and Abel. Okay, and honestly, when you all studied up, you'll know that Cain and Abel weren't actually born together. They were born with twin sisters. So you need to do your own research to understand that they weren't even twins. They weren't even born together. They were born with a set of twins, yes, but they had a girl twin. So Abel had his own girl twin that he wanted to marry. Well, no, I'm sorry. Cain had his own female twin that he was born with that he wanted to marry. And so that's a totally different thing. And that's why God says study to show yourself approved, because there's a lot of things that we don't know that is going to get us caught up in this end time. Because if you don't know the real history, not his story, not the white history, if you don't know the true biblical history, these end times are going to burn you like fire, literally. And so that's why I'm here to shed light on today, because you have a lot of this mixing and matching. You have a lot of these people taking their ass to these IVF clinics and glorifying it as if this is what God told them to do. God did not tell them to do a damn thing. And so that kind of makes me upset, because they always want to throw God in it. God didn't tell you shit. Stop doing that. So anyway, getting back to let's get back to the IVF babies, okay? Just for a little bit, because we're going to talk about how these people are not real. First of all, you have to have the breath of life of God in order to be considered human. And I just want to say this: if it didn't work in the bedroom, it's not going to work in a clinic. So if you're going to these doctors' offices and they're giving you this crap like, oh, we use this so it'll magically work, that's bullshit. If it didn't work in one place, it's not going to work in another place. I don't care how much money you give a person. I don't care what groundbreaking technology they tell you they have. It does not work that way. It does not work that way. And so you all are so desperate that you're willing to accept any type of foolery lie to get what you want. And I get it. When you want something, you've been waiting on something, you have hope deferred, you get desperate, you lose hope. So you go to what you think is the next best thing. And what you all are not understanding is that you are breeding monsters. You are participating in bringing forth monsters. That's what the Bible says. That's in my previous short, my previous video. Go back and take a look at that. I posted the Bible verse that goes with that, where it talks about in the end times, these menstruous women will be breeding monsters. And these IVF babies are the monsters that the Bible is talking about. These genetically modified, I mean, of course, we knew that if they were genetically modifying our food, it was only a matter of time before we became the next thing on the platter. And so that's what I want to talk about today, is so that we're not bamboozled and so that we don't fall for this trap. Because those of you, and I don't mean to put nothing on nobody, but those of you that took that damn shot and that test, you all may be very susceptible in these upcoming years with all types of cancers, heart issues, blood clots. And you are going to, if you took the shot, I mean, going to get your genes edited from a disease, from a result from that COVID shot that you took, it's not going to be a change. It's not going to be new to you because you're used to falling in line. And so I'm not here to mock anybody, even though, as people that, did the smart thing and not get vaccinated, we were mocked and ridiculed and, banned into isolation. And so now that the truth is coming out about all these different things and symptoms and, health problems that these STDs, that these COVID vaccines are bringing to the masses, you know, everybody's confused. Everybody don't know. And so I'm here to bring some things to the light, allegedly, okay, that you're going to be seeing in a city near you. And so you need to be on guard, especially if you took this COVID shot, because this gene editing thing along it is a part of the beast system, you guys. If you want to know what the new world order is this. It's this gene editing, this transhumanism, um this anything that's not like God is what the beast system is. It's transforming you into something other than what God created, literally. It's to change you physically and in all aspects. And so we're going to get into that. How humans have become the minority and how it's going to be an even more greater decline over the years as they start introducing this gene editing, when these gene editing companies started to come out of the woodwork, because they're dormant right now. There's a lot of gene editing companies, you guys, that have not made themselves known yet, but I can assure you that very, very soon, in these upcoming years, where you start seeing more HIV, more heart problems, more blood clots, more cancers, more unnamed STDs that were just randomly popping out. I wonder why. Yeah, I wonder. So they are going to basically make another profit off of you guys. What's that saying? They make the problem and bring the solution. This is what this is. Constantly making money off of you all, because you all care about your provisions more than your soul. So as we get into this, let's go ahead. Let me show you what's going on in your world.
It's a form of leukemia, and chemo, bone marrow transplants all failed. Doctor said it was time to make her as comfortable as possible, and her family believed it would. This is Alyssa. She was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of leukemia, and chemo, bone marrow transplants all failed. Doctor said it was time to make her as comfortable as possible, and her family believed it would be her last Christmas. And then something remarkable happened. This brave 13-year-old agreed to be the first patient to undergo a type of gene editing called base editing for cancer. And base editing just means you're editing one letter in a DNA sequence. In Alyssa's case, her T cells, which are the white blood cells that are supposed.
Now I'm gonna stop it right there. She's talking about they're just editing one letter out of your DNA genetic code. And with all this transhumanism, we're going to look up exactly what trans mean, because you have this transgender, this transhuman, this just trans everything. So when you're studying, you got to go deep. You can't be a surface level person, okay? So as you go through all this trans, okay, it means donating, denoting shit. Donating, Lord. Denoting or relating to a person whose gender identity does not correspond with the sex registered for them at birth. We know that part. What else does it mean? Across, beyond, on, or to the other side, through, into another state or place, surpassing or transcending, referring or relating to people whose gender identity does not correspond. Well, we already did that. Okay, so denoting molecules with trans arrangements of substituents. I don't know how to say that shit. Anyway, I'm country, y'all. But this is the main thing that I want to point out here. Genetics. That's what it's all about. That's what this shit is all. This trans stuff is all about this. Genetics. Now, what the hell is a allelist? One of two or more alternative forms of a gene that arise by mutation and are found at the same place on a chromosome. Y'all, they're changing your DNA, and y'all are just fine with it. You're fine with changing your DNA as long as you can get rid of a cancer, but then you're going to end up in hell because you cannot, if you're not a human, you cannot qualify for salvation. That's the big trick of the enemy. That's what Genesis and Revelation is all about, preventing you. See, Satan is so, he hates you so much that you sinning is not enough. He don't want, you to even have a possibility to just be a sinner, because sinners, we can get salvation, right? We can sin, and we can repent and renounce and turn to the Lord, and the Lord will forgive us. But Satan has took it an extra step and said, you know what, that's not enough, because they can sin and God can forgive them, but if they are not his creature, if he doesn't recognize them, if there's a base editing change in one of the letters in his genetic code, then God won't recognize this person, just like he did with the dinosaurs. That's where the dinosaurs come from. Talk about that in my previous video. Go watch it. And you're going to start seeing this type of shit coming around in your backyard again, like they scrubbed the internet, where that lady in Florida had a freaking little baby T-Rex running in her backyard. I don't know if y'all saw that, but they scrubbed the internet. You can't even find it anymore. I wonder if I can. I'm going to try and go and see if I can. But y'all, they're going to be using this technology so much. This gene editing crap is going to run rampant. You're going to see it for HIV cures. You're going to see it for cancer, leukemia, all types of stuff. Autoimmune disease, from where that COVID vaccine has fucked y'all body up from the inside out. Yeah. Allegedly. Entertainment purposes only. Mentally ill. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's get back to it.
To go attack threats in your body. They were out of control. So scientists took a donor's T cells, used base editing to change just one letter that reprogrammed the cells to go attack the cancer in Alyssa's body without harming her cells.
Sounds familiar. Sounds like the spike protein, right? Okay, let's get back to it.
6 months later, Alyssa is still cancer-free. Now, a massive part of the story is her bravery. This technology is only 6 years old, but it also marks the beginning of an entirely new chapter in healthcare. Gene editing is going to be such an important technology, and base editing is just one of the many branches of it. I really look forward to sharing more stories like Alyssa's on my page, but also having the important ethical conversations that accompany this technology. Gene editing is quite misunderstood in mainstream discourse, but it will be a game changer if we get it right. This is Alyssa.
No, baby, it is definitely not misunderstood for those that understand. But anyway, so yeah, and this doesn't even look. This looks like a damn AI person. This doesn't even look like a real profile. But anyway, just going through some of these comments. Look, I work with this group that did this. They are amazing, and their therapies get better and better each time. So exciting, so amazing. This is so incredible. This is hope. This is everything. Real hope. Like, no God in this. I hope this is cheap and available for everyone. And this was another thing that I was going to get into is that they are going to make this so unaffordable in the beginning. And then of course, they're going to make it affordable or better yet, required for everybody. But see, you have to make things in high demand first for people to, actually have the desire to even want to do something like this. Because if you make it available to everybody, then, you may have people questioning it. This is amazing. What will the impact of gene editing be on a cosmetic surgery? This is another one for all you BBL ladies. For all you BBL Botox lady, you puffer lips, they're going to incorporate this gene editing in every aspect of your life. To the point, it brings back my point again that ultimately initially it's going to be probably quite expensive, but down the road they're going to make it available to everybody. And just look at all these people that are in agreement with this. And that's why the Lord says, in the end, on Judgment Day, many will say, Lord, Lord, didn't I do this? Didn't I cast out these demons? Did I? And he's going to say, I don't know you. You have a edited gene. I don't know you. Okay? That's what Satan's goal is to change your whole makeup to where you don't even qualify for salvation. I mean, the level of pettiness, my Lord. Can this help with autoimmune diseases? Didn't I just talk about that? How's this different from CAR T-cell therapy? Question. Humans can patent and own man-made things. If you gene edit something, it is man-made and can be owned. I had to laugh at that because that's what it's about. It's about being owned. And the COVID vaccine and virus is also patented. And you can go look that up. I'm not doing all that. They also have a patent on that, and I wonder why. Maybe because it's man-made. I don't know. Maybe once you took the shot, you had became property of the United States. I don't know. Just some, alleged conspiracy theories. Let's see what else. Let's see about CRISPR.
Hypothetically speaking, this girl added you on Snapchat, and she said, "Jane, I'm trying to fuck with you. With Zion, come see me. I'm staying the night."
I can't hear what the hell he's saying.
Hypothetically speaking.
Okay, whatever. Let's go here. Let me look up some CRISPR here, because you all need to be aware of who these companies are. And I'm going to be bringing some more of these companies to the forefront so that you can know exactly, if you choose to become a transhuman, you know exactly what you're getting yourself into because you were warned. Okay. I know CRISPR is one for, I know CRISPR just because they were one that were, they didn't really come out, but they're more out than, your other lower end gene therapy places. But let's see about CRISPR.
Holy cow, folks, the FDA is going to review on Tuesday a potentially new cure for a rare blood disorder called sickle cell disease, and it would be the first FDA-approved treatment for a type of gene editing tool known as CRISPR, if you've heard about that before. Now, sickle cell disease is something that affects millions of people around the world. It affects about 100,000 people in the United States, and it's a disorder of the hemoglobin found in red blood cells, causing it to look like a crescent shape, and that can disrupt the blood vessels and cause very significant pain, organ damage, which can include in the lungs and in the brain, and it can be very severe, potentially life-threatening in certain situations. Right now, the only cure is having a closely matched blood donor to do a bone marrow transplant, but there is risk of rejection with this. In the briefing document released yesterday, there were 46 patients who got this treatment, and 30 of them have been.
Now, I don't care about who all got the treatment. Just know they are no longer human at this point. Now let's look at some of these compliments. Studying CRISPR right now in class, very fascinating. I bet. I mean, the deception here is just very concerning. Very concerning. And this is why God says hell has widened herself, because these people are too ready for this lie. Yes, the SCD community is very excited about this. Black woman, Lord help us. I see you are in here. These patients are in pain, and this would be huge. Great news, but who would be able to afford the treatment? See, and this is what they do. They market this as some groundbreaking technology. They make sure only, initially the elite or, the rich can get access to it, and then they market those people or those people that are already hybrids already anyway, to make the rest of the population that are probably human, that are actually suffering from these things, that probably don't, have the jobs or the insurance or whatever, and they probably end up opening up some type of test study where they're doing like a giveaway, and do free gene editing for people, and then as life goes on, it will be a requirement, just like they did with the shots. You remember, when you were younger, you had to go to school and you had to get all these shots, and at that time, you couldn't enroll in school unless you had certain shots. Everything that they do is a build up for a even more sinister catastrophe. Now, for those people that's been taking shots since, going to school and just taking, your regular flu shots and, whatever shots that you had to do to get admission into, whatever elementary or high school, that has been leading up to now is a requirement for you to take this shot, like COVID. Now is a requirement for you to have this gene editing. It's no longer, a situation where it's only available to the rich or the elite, or, we're doing little test studies. It's a requirement now. So everybody has to change their genes and their DNA. That's what it's coming to. And if you don't believe that it's coming to that, it's going to come to that, then you are all ready for hell's hottest part of hell. Let's see what he's talking about. Nanotechnology, same thing that's in your beloved COVID.
Piece of the God's reflection. Your genetics are being controlled through nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is a branch of science and a genetic engineering tool devoted to manipulating atoms and molecules on a nanoscale level. But you might be asking, why is this important? The reason being is because, like Chief teaches us, on a microscopic level, the 50 trillions of cells that make up our bodies essentially consist and are made up of molecules and atoms. See, look, reflection. Science uses nanotechnology like CRISPR to modify genetic structures of the food that's on the shelves in the grocery store. They do this so that they can last longer in the store. You see the ordinary tomato? It got rotten fast. Fruit or vegetables shouldn't be lasting 2 months in the grocery store.
Yeah, I gotta come in on that, because that I definitely noticed that with my lettuce. I've been noticing that for quite some time with my lettuce. They're trying to kill us, and that's why God said I gotta shorten these days. Got to shorten the days. Let's go to that verse. Let's go into that verse. Shorten the days for the elect's sake. What verse is this? Because the Lord, now they trying to kill us up here. Those days shall be shortened. The Lord himself is doing us a favor by speeding up this time, because what he's saying is that if I don't shorten the days, they'll kill you all. They're going to kill everybody. And that's why I say it's just a matter of time before they say, oh, now everybody has to be a freaking hybrid. So God is good. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there believe it not, don't take your ass into no wilderness. Don't take your ass to no overseas. Look, let me tell you something. When Jesus get here, he gonna bust that sky open so hard, everybody across every continent will see him at one time. So if somebody has to tell you that Jesus is somewhere, it ain't him, baby. I'm going to say that again. If somebody in the flesh has to tell you, hey, come with me, Jesus is over here, that ain't him. And whoever that thing or entity is going to lead you to a Jim Jones situation, to destruction. The Bible says how Jesus is coming, and he coming hard. He gonna come so hard to the point where you will all see him at one time. Every human being, everything that has breath in his body will see the coming of the Lord at one time. Okay, so let's make that clear, so that when this fake Jesus comes out of the sky, when they use this Project Blue Beam, you all won't be deceived when you see the little stringy haired Jesus, Caesar Borgia. When you see that afro, that burnt brass foot with that afro, that white afro that he's talking about in Revelation, that is your Christ. That's your cue to drop to your knees. Okay? That's if you ain't burnt up by that point. Because if you're not holy enough, you will burn if you are lucky enough to even be here during his arrival. Okay. So just keep that in mind, that you'll know that it's him, because if you're not one of his, you're going to burn to pieces anyway. Okay. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. And honestly, y'all, I don't mean to be mean, but the mentality of the people is just so in a stupor that it's very, if you are not studied up, if you're out here in the world worried about who shot Jarman is doing, the Joneses are doing, you are going to be deceived. If you took that COVID shot, you've already been deceived. A big portion. And I hate to single you out, but I have to, because I really feel it in my spirit that the Lord is not pleased with that. Because you all have participated in a prerequisite to the end time. Y'all don't understand how detrimental that is. That is extremely dangerous if you took that. Because if that was the real deal, literally your life would be over. And if you don't repent, you're probably still gonna have some issues, because there was some shit in that shit. Excuse my French. So I just want to be transparent with y'all, because that's how I am on NunyaSaidIt podcast. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat to have a follower or to save face or to make you feel good. We are not in feel good times. Get up out your feelings, because your feelings are going to lead you to hell. Note to self. Okay. And when I'm talking to y'all, I'm not just talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself too. This is prophetic, regardless of how one may feel about me. I'm receiving. A teacher must receive. The word is a double edged sword. So it cuts the teacher and it cuts the receiver. And if you are not a person in that type of spirit and you are over God's flock, step down. Okay? But I'm not here to preach to y'all. I'm just here to shed this type of stuff on y'all to let y'all know this is what's happening.
Look at this one right here, the flavor saver tomato.
This is what's happening, y'all.
This one right here has been used
and
for CRISPR.
I don't want us to be in a situation where we're just walking around here complacent just because we think we can. Because we think God is forgiving. Yeah, he is forgiving. But if you have an altered gene, you're not going to make it to heaven. I'm just going to tell you like that. If your genes are altered, if you have purposely went into a place and altered your genes, you're not going to make it. Your children are not going to make it. Because God does not recognize them as a human that he created once that whatever gene is edited or removed. Okay? And that's why he said if you love your life, you're going to lose it. So don't love it so much to the point where you're going and getting these gene editing, going to get these COVID vaccines and all this crap that they told you all was not traditional. That was your sign right there to know that something was wrong with it. That your light bulb didn't come on. And that's something y'all need to work on because y'all light bulbs are not working when they need to be working. When you hear keywords like it's not normal or it's not traditional or it's different or breakthrough, new, when you hear those words, upcoming, new generation, new age, when you hear that type of shit, that should be a red flag. That should be a light bulb. Something should come off and say, let me do a little bit more research before I participate in this. So I won't be like one of those little piggies, that fell off the bridge with the other little piggies. Because at this point, we are in danger. Your genetics is very important, y'all. We have to understand that everybody is not human. Now let's take a look into some clones because I don't understand why we're really not getting it still when they gave you we clone Tyrone. They have given you hints. Okay, you see it all the time in entertainment. And we're gonna use Gucci Man just as an example because baby, that ain't Gucci. If you was a real Gucci fan, you know that this is not Gucci. Where is the ice cream tattoo? Where's the teardrops? Like you don't see anything, and I don't care how black you are, your tattoos are not gonna fade like that. Let's go look at some old, photos of Gucci since we own it. Cause I want y'all to understand that we are not in the world that you think we are in. We're really not. And like I said, if you are, this is Gucci, okay? You can go to jail all you want, baby. And let me tell y'all something about Gucci. Like he wouldn't be a man that would change for no woman. I'm gonna just put that out there like that. He is not a man that would change for any one woman because that was his lifestyle. And you just have some people in the world that are like that. And I really feel like and I'm not saying that he, couldn't, that he really wasn't because of his what is up with all of these damn pop-ups? Damn. And they wonder why people don't come to their damn site. I bet they don't get no people to come over here. This is ridiculous. I just need to see the damn freaking picture. Ridiculous. Oh my goodness, they're still popping up. Rolling Stone, you know what? Don't even worry about it, baby. Don't even worry about it. Cause why do I have to go through all that? Anyway, let me show you who the real Gucci is. Look at this. Look at this. That ain't no Gucci. You don't even see that where's the tattoo? Oh, they plastered it on. That's still not him. Let's go to the real Gucci here, y'all. Because you can't change this face to that. It's just this is the real Gucci, man. I want to see if I can get a side profile, and I think they have done a great job of scrubbing this internet of his earlier pictures. But this is Gucci. That's Gucci. That's Gucci. I don't know who they say somebody, I forgot his name, walking around cosplaying him, but that like his mannerisms are not even the same. And even if you know, are reformed, your mannerisms are still gonna be kind of similar. Like that's Gucci. Gucci was not really a man that wore a lot of nice clothes. He was just kind of this is Gucci. He was just kind of I wouldn't say thrown together, but he was a hood nigga. I don't know how else to say it. He was just hood, you know? And I hate to use the N word, but that's just how, y'all a lot of people understand it. He was just hood. He didn't do this dressing up and these type of designer like that. That's just it really wasn't him. Like he may wear a chain, but for the most, he was in stuff like that. Very, very grounded, very hood, very street. That's that's not him. But I wanted to get they don't really have a whole bunch of good pictures on him on here of him, and the ones that they do have, you got shit popping up on it. So let's see, Gucci Man 2000. This is Gucci Man. I don't know. Yeah, this is him. I don't know who this new person is, but it's not really out of the note. Look at that nose. Nose don't really look the same. Not to me anyway. You got this bulge, and it could be due to a grill, but I don't know. I don't think that it's the same person. I don't think it's the same person at all. You got the eyes. Yeah, it's just not what his chin is. Look at it. Like, how do your I don't know. His chin is all off. I don't know. Anyway, we're not gonna spend too much time on that. I don't feel like this is the same person. But that's just one example. I feel like there's a lot of clones because if you really think about it, why wouldn't you? If you are a low down dirty record label and these artists are insured, okay? If I was a dirty, wicked management person of a record label and I know that I can make way more money off of you dead or alive because I'm going to have access to your royalties, I'm going to have access to use your works however I feel and still make money off of that. Why wouldn't? And then on top of that, I'm going to get paid. I'm getting insurance on you. You pass away, drug overdose or whatever. I'm going to get paid and I'm going to be able to use your stuff. So why not? It's the best business you could possibly have. So I mean, it's definitely not far-fetched at all. What's this one all about? Let's see. Nothing, I guess.
As soon as you die, they could actually.
They take you there. They took him there. They let him see the fights. At first, he thought it was cool, you know. It was like eyes wide shut. They screwing in front of you. They doing bizarre things, man. Bestiality. You going, damn, right? But the part that tripped him out, how they showed him. They literally showed him how they clone people. They take the real person and put them off to the left and make two more of you. It blew his mind. Just like they did the dogs, the fish, all of that. He's like, wait, I'm tripping. That ain't a real person. Then they start, they stab the person to make you see they bleed. They're real. And they can feel that pain. You understand? So his mind is blown. Now, he done been a couple of times, and the only time they would be willing to put you in, they take you there. They took him there. They let him see the fights. At first, he thought it was.
And did y'all hear how he said that they take the clones and they stab them, they hurt them, and they have, they can feel the pain? That is very important because there's a lot of people that you're working with. All these raid shootings, I believe that these people are clones. I really, really do, because at this point, it's like Ted Bundy, these serial killers. That's just my personal opinion. I believe like Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, all these serial killers, I believe that they were clones. Because how in the hell are y'all got all this technology so called to change genes to make babies grow out of a petri dish, and if y'all don't believe that them damn IVF babies are clones, there's something wrong with your brain. Okay, they're made pretty much the same way as a clone human being. And I still want to talk to somebody that is an IVF baby or a clone to see what type of long-term issues that they have, because there has to be some. That whole process is not normal. Not normal. And I believe that so many of these celebrities have been cloned. The real people have been dead, in my opinion. Could be wrong. I doubt it. But it just seems like they always end up going to jail and then coming back and they don't look shit like they did before. Like Kodak. I don't believe that's Kodak, allegedly. So yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of craziness out here. I feel like they admitted to us straight out that who they are, but we just insist that we are not living in that type of world. I mean, they've been cloning people for years, like I said. 4 years they've been doing this. And we just don't want to come to the truth. That the people around us are not who we think we are. They are. They are not. Let's see what this is about.
Get out of here.
Yes. Okay, so far I have 2 questions.
What's your question?
So since it's a clone cat, is there like a real cat that looks like that one?
There is. So there was an original cat, and that cat is still alive, and his owner decided he wanted to clone him. And now we have a cat that is genetically identical to the original cat.
Okay, let's see the cat.
See him?
Okay, wait, do they say the same stuff? So that one's not real. Does it have a heart or anything?
He has a heart. He's a normal cat.
See that?
Just like any other cat.
So they done cloned the damn cat. Y'all, when I say in the days of Noah, this is why God has to shorten this shit. They are cloning everything. And that's so crazy, because there was a company that used to actually come on regular TV over here, where they were advertising it on regular TV, cloning your deceased pets. Now, I haven't seen it lately, but right after, after they were demanding everybody take the COVID shots, this commercial about cloning your pets was coming out. And I was telling my husband, baby, it's just a matter of time where, they are going to be requiring that for humans. It's going to be going over to humans. So the fact that we ran up on this one, that's crazy. Y'all don't go out here and clone your pets. I know your pets are like your babies, because mine are definitely like my babies, but don't once they're gone, they're gone. Don't do that shit, because they're bringing Pet Cemetery, literally Pet Cemetery, literally. And you seen what the hell? Let's go and see. I'm finna show y'all exactly the result of cloning your damn pets, and this is gonna be results of them zombies that they're talking about. That's gonna be the result of cloning people, just like Pet Cemetery showed y'all what happens when you bring shit back, when you clone shit. It always come back to haunt you, because it is not natural. Let's see how this damn cat came back. This cat came back angry as hell. Look at him. He's pissed off. Good. He should have slapped the shit out of his ass, because he good for him. He should. Because why in the hell did you bring this damn cat back? Look at that cat. That cat is mad as hell. Y'all, you have to not love this place like that. You cannot love this place like that, to where you are putting yourself in a situation where your pets are coming back to kill your ass. Let's see where the kid at, because he did the kid too. The kid came back angry. He just had everybody toe up, trying to bring shit back. Let's see Pet Cemetery. No, we don't want to see him. Well, we know we got him in real life, but this is getting scary. This is getting scary, y'all, because this is going to become the norm. And this is where this great falling away is going to be coming from, because you ain't going to hardly have no damn humans out here. Look at the damn kid come back angry. Look at him. That's what happens when you clone people. When you clone somebody, when you have an IVF baby, this is the result. This is the result. So, y'all, I don't know. I'm just going to say, we have been bamboozled. And if we don't grasp the concept of this very, 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 very fast, we're going to let somebody that looks like this old man convince us to go and clone somebody. Because this is what they look. This is how everybody in the doctor's office that's trying to tell you something wrong with you, that you need to get this technology. And I'm not trying to be insensitive to people that have diseases, autoimmune diseases. I get it. You want to be free. You want to be healed. But that is going to have to be a journey between you and the Most High. And you cannot be tempted to do this gene editing. And I hate to say this, any disease that you get here is way better than what you're going to get if you try to take your ass to get any type of gene editing to cure yourself. That is this type of stuff, this gene editing, y'all, this is and this is in all seriousness. I'm being serious. This shit is not of God. It's not. This is so far away from God. This gene editing, like this CRISPR shit, this IVF stuff is not of God. This is not God's creation. And even if you were born of God and you something happens and you decide to go get some gene editing for whatever reasons, because they're gonna have different things that you can use gene editing for. It's not gonna be just to cure you of HIV, AIDS, sickle cell, leukemia, cancer. It's not going to be just for those things. It's going to be for pretty much any desire that you have. They're going to find a way to where they can use this gene editing to change your eye color. For vain people, like if you are a vain person, they're gonna figure out how to edit your genes to help your ass grow, to make your boobs grow, to probably make your hair grow overnight. Like, I'm serious, y'all. It's gonna get to these levels where they're going to fix this gene editing to fix your desires. If you have a small penis, they're gonna fix it to where you can have your penis is long from here to Tallahassee. Okay? They're going to fix it to where all your desires, anything you want, if you want to fly, if you want to grow wings, you're going to be able to do it with this new technology. Well, this old, ancient technology, because it's been here. It's been here. It's not new. And so they're going to find a way to play on people's desires, their vanities, their fears, their loss. Because pretty soon, if you can already bring your long lost fish back, if you can clone a dead fish, surely you can clone your Timbo. You can clone anybody. You can resurrect anybody. That's what it's coming to. All this Book of the Dead, the Mummy Returns, that shit is real. That is what they're going back to. What do you think these mummies wrap themselves up for? They wrap themselves up with the intent to return. All these biblical creatures that you read about in Revelation, and that's why you're so confused. These are creatures that are going to be coming from the pits of hell that CERN is going to open the bottomless pit. And I'll get into that another day. But I really just wanted to shed some light on this CRISPR, this gene editing, these IVF babies, because you got too many people walking around here thinking that this is a breakthrough and this is going to break you through hell. And I don't know how else to, express that. So it's your girl Nunya, signing out.